Hello, YouTube! Once again, this is Lefty79 joining you from the NFL Stableford League, and this is the NFL Stableford Cup 3 award show. Uh, one day late, but not a dollar short, and also it's better late than never. And I'm here to present the All Cup team to 12 distinguished players. Also, there will be some honorable mentions. Not every team was represented in this category, as you had to have a minimum of 9 points per game average to qualify. So that's how I um, to figure that out for honorable mentions, and a nice group of players qualified for that. We'll also announce the regular season or the group stage MVP award. Actually, I have the top three in voting for that, and conducted by yours truly. There was no panel of voters or anything like that. I'll give a quick playoff update as well on what's currently going on in Stableford Cup 3, and also a quick league update because I know I've had some players reach out regarding team assignments for the upcoming season and what's all going to happen with that. And I have probably some groundbreaking ideas that I'd like to try, at least for this league. But we'll see how it goes over uh, in the next month or so. Well, I can't believe it's almost September already. But we're finishing up July strong here. And first, we're going to start with the Cincinnati Bengals. And they're still alive in NFL Stableford Cup 3 in the semifinals. No big surprise there, as they are now taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They qualified first in their group, the Icky Shuffle group, and they are represented pretty well here on this award show. As first of all, their first award recipient for the All Cup team uh, is none other than an Xboxer, the Taft Man, with a 10.3 points per game average. The Taft Man is named to the NFL Stableford Cup 3 All Cup team. Now, granted, he does get a little bit of handicap, but you still have to make it work for you. And the Bengals are making it work in spades right now, as they had the most wins of everybody in the league with, I believe, 5. So they were just on fire throughout the Stableford Cup, and they are in a well-deserved spot right now to try to advance to next week's finals. And the Taft man has been a huge part of that, and he has been playing very well. And also playing very well on the Cincinnati Bengals is Gator Man, who gets an honorable mention with a 10 points per game average. A new player in the league and in Stableford Cup 3. Gatorman Mitch uh, is not someone that's ever played Stableford as far as I remember or as far as I know, and this was his first go round in anything NFL related. So congrats to him and on an excellent Cup season. And I believe he plays on. I think he's a PS guy, maybe a PC guy, but he's been a solid contributor all Cup season long. And the two guys with the handicap are carrying along future Buckeye to possibly a league and a Cup sweep in 2022. Now that would be something else right there, but he had these guys picked on his radar, and they're just playing great right now, are the Cincinnati Bengals. But congrats once again to Paul and to Mitch on the Cincinnati Bengals for those awards. As we now move alphabetically through the list here, well, we have the Buffalo Bills right next door, and there will also be an All Cup team and an honorable mention for the Mafia. And first of all, the All Cup team honor goes to Ty Lannister from the Buffalo Bills with a 10.2 points per game average. Uh, Very well done. He started off maybe a little bit slow, the Bills did, because I remember in the week 2 power rankings, I think I had them toward the bottom, if not last. And they really turned it around and ended up making a nice playoff run to get to the wild card, but ended up losing in the first round. Ended up losing in the wild card, 30 to 29 to the Rams. But Ty Lannister was a big part of that resurgence after week 2, and congratulations to him on being named to the All Stableford Cup 3 team. And also an honorable mention goes to In This Style 99, Lucas, with a 9.3 points per game average. Very impressive there to bounce back after maybe a couple uneven performances, but for the most part, a very solid contributor throughout the Cup season was Mr. Bombardier. As in he just at the end of the day, the Bills had to make a really big run in a tough division, in a tough group, and he had a big 13-point performance in Week 5 that really helped the team uh, turn it, get to the playoffs, and he really did a fine job there to get them over the top into that wild card game. So congratulations once again go out to Ty Lannister and In This Style 99 for those awards on the Buffalo Bills. And hopefully we'll see them both in the upcoming Stableford League season. As we now head to the next team on the list, well, it's the Denver Broncos. Now, this team had a rough go of it in Stableford Cup 3, as there was definitely some personnel issues with the coordinators along the way. And this is what definitely, the talent was there, but unfortunately, there was just too many uh, ins and outs going on with this squad. And unfortunately, only one member of the team is going to get honored for the All Cup team, as there were no honorable mentions. And this will go to Why So Serious 21, otherwise known as Austin, with a 9.8 points per game average. I'm pretty sure he was the only one that played every week as well for this team. Originally, it didn't start off really well for the Broncos either. When one of their draft choices ended up backing out before the Cup even began. But we did get a replacement. Unfortunately, that did not last either, and they basically kind of had to throw together a mishmash of players throughout the Cup. But I do appreciate Why So Serious for sticking with it and earning this All Cup team honor. Hopefully, made it worthwhile. So that is the Denver Broncos. They did not make the playoffs. Also, I mean, no surprise there, I guess, with all the issues they had. But really were kind of knocked out early on in the proceedings. I think they were pretty much out of it by week 6. As we now head to the next team on the list for the All Cup Team Award. We move forward. These teams were not involved, but next is the Los Angeles Chargers of Bino. Well, speaking of Bino, he is going to be the All Cup team representative for the Chargers, as he had a 9.5 points per game average, which led the way. So M. Rubino 89, Mike, got the job done as the captain, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough to get a win in the Stableford Cup this year. They just had a rough go of it, and they may have won their last game. I don't believe they did though. But just a tough goal. I know Chinatown kind of struggled, and Tom Bonator did a good job coming in as a substitute. But unfortunately, it just wasn't to be for the Chargers this year. But kudos to Bino though for getting on the All Cup team, representing the other LA team. As we now go to the next team on the list, and there were no honorable mentions for the Chargers. As we now move to the next team on the list, in order here, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this team had a great run to get, they actually won the group that they were in. And also, we're in the wild card game. Unfortunately, they lost in the first round to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who we'll mention a little bit later. Uh, but it was a great run for this 49ers team this year, and I was really impressed with them and how they gelled as a team. And a big part of that has to do with their captain, Crushtastic 8, Jason, who is the All Cup team representative with 10 points per game. So Crushtastic did a great job drafting this squad uh, for the Cup, and they were the top. I believe they were the second highest point getters in the proceedings, but they ended up getting upset in that wild card game by Jacksonville. But still, a great job by Crushtastic to get to average 10 points a game and earn the All Cup team nod for the 49ers. But not to be outdone, we also have an honorable mention for the 49ers, and it's Sky Blue Ben with a 9.2 points per game average. So very well done for Ben here, as he was very jacked to be a 49er. His posts were on point as per usual, and he did a great job week in and week out, helping uh, the captain along the way, Crush, to get that playoff run that they had. He had 12 points a couple weeks there, and that really helped the cause. I believe he cashed in each time he was the offensive coordinator, so that really helped. But kudos to Sky Blue Ben here on getting an honorable mention in the Stableford Cup 3 award show. As we now move to the G-Men. Now, Tag Rocket Don is a staple in the league. One of the all-around great guys. If I had a sportsmanship award, I'm thinking Don would be winning this. But you know what? I'm going to create that award right now. So Don Tag Rocket, congrats on winning the NFL Stableford League Sportsmanship Award. I'm going to announce that right now, as your posts and the encouragement you give to your teammates is to be commended. And not to be outdone with that award, you are also the All Cup team representative for the New York Giants, as you averaged 10.2 points per game throughout the Cup regular group play. So Don Tagrocket will be on the All Cup team. But also, he had some help. And Radak Prime, a new player who came in, I believe it's Old Man Gaming, Alan's son, who joined up, and he's on the Xbox. And I believe his name is Austin. And he had a 9.8 points per game average that really helped the cause for the Giants, who are still alive in the NFL Stableford Cup semifinals and taking on the Los Angeles Rams right now. So the Giants team really gelled very well after Radak Prime joined, and you got to remember, I mean, he was new to this whole thing, and he came in and he owned it, and the Giants are now definitely on the radar for probably a possible Stableford Cup 3 win. So kudos to the G-Men. And then you got Polecat lurking in the background, who always finds a way to put up a big number when needed. But for now, the All Cup team award goes to Tag Rocket, and the honorable mention goes to Radak Prime, and Polecat gets a mention as well, just because he's such a sneaky competitor who can chime in with a big performance every now and again as well. So we now move, and Tag Rocket wins the Sportsmanship Award, so another big one there. As we now move to the next team on the list, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they're still alive as they're playing in the semifinals this week against the Bengals. And this team barely made the playoffs. They got the 7th seed, but it was enough by virtue of the 4 wins that they had throughout the group play. They still had to get the job done in the last week to secure it, as the Vikings are hot on their trail points wise. But as it turns out, the Jaguars did make the playoffs, and a big reason for that was because of their All Cup team representative, Pat Strife 21, with 11 points per game. Pat Strife, week in and week out, just put up big numbers, and I'm gonna probably spoil it later, but we'll see if he is in the running for group play MVP. We'll find out, as he's definitely got to be considered a favorite for that award. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But Pat Strife, all cup team member for the Jaguars, and also an honorable mention goes out to CJ Lasco with a 9.2 points per game average. Corey definitely well deserving of a mention here, as he got the job done many weeks along with Pat, and that's why they are where they are right now in the semifinals. And then you got to give Platypus Brigade some props too for coming through in the clutch with some good performances. But officially, it's Pat Strife 21 and CJ Lasco getting awards on the All Cup team. Well, Pat got the All Cup award and Corey got the honorable mention. As we now move to the next team on the list, the Detroit Lions. Now, this team is probably up there with the Broncos for personnel changes, but they made it work. I mean, they had three guys playing every week, so kudos to them for getting through it all. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough to make the playoffs in the Cup, but we're going to award two awards to the Lions, as we have C. Gibb 2, CF, making the All Cup team with a 10.2 average. Well done there. And also an honorable mention goes out to Horace Phoenix, Mark, with a 9.5 average. So two players get awards there for the Lions. Uh, it was one of those seasons for them where when Art left, I don't know if that was like if part of the team left with him or not, but Mr. Longpole came in and did a good job, Neil, to replace him. And I thought he did it. I thought, they had a couple bounces that just didn't go their way, and that's what happens in Stableford Cup sometimes. I've been on both sides of it, trust me. But kudos to the Lions, though, for getting through the season every week, having three guys here, and just a good group of guys. Unfortunately, it just didn't. The points just weren't there in the end, and they are in a pretty tough group. As we now move to the next team on the list, the New England Patriots. Now, this team is only going to have one award given to them for an All-Cup player. He did miss 1 week, but it didn't matter, as he still had enough points as an average to qualify. It's Airsy Boy 1996, Dan, with a 9.3 points per game average, getting the All Cup team honors for the Patriots, who did make the playoffs, and unfortunately lost in the first round to the Giants by 6. But to get there with only one guy averaging over 9 points per game, that's a true team effort. Now, I don't know if it was the home course that really allowed this to happen or how it happened, but they might have been the beneficiary of some good luck too along the way. But as it is, the Patriots representative on the All Cup team is Airsy Boy. I did look into the other players, and unfortunately, Greg just missed an honorable mention, but I did mention him here on the telecast. And Franz had a really tough cup, but he did draft a pretty good player in Airsy Boy. So as it is, the Patriots will look forward to the league season now, having made the playoffs, but unfortunately getting bounced out in the wild card. As we now head to the next team on the list, well, it's the team I'm on. It's the Los Angeles Rams. And two players will be honored here, and I won't spoil who won't be, but the All Cup representative, though, for the Los Angeles Rams is Old Man Gaming 606, Allen, with a 10.8 points per game. That's definitely MVP worthy. Wow, what a cup he had so far, and is having, as he's a big reason why the Rams are where they are right now in the semifinals against the Giants. A big win in the wild card, 30-29, that Old Man was able to pull out there at the end, and definitely worthy of an All Cup team designation. And also an honorable mention goes out to up, cupping up Kevin with a 9.2 points per game average. So well done there for Kevin. Uh, Definitely was a captain who got the most out of his uh, home course selection and out of his draft. As Old Man Gaming was a great pick, but up, cupping up also played well when necessary and pulled out some big performances for the Rams to get them to where they are now here in the semifinals of the Cup. But good job to the Rams there. I just missed out on getting a mention, but as it is, I'm hosting the show, and I'm just glad that I'm still playing right now, as last season's Cup did not go so great for me. But as it is, we now move on to a team that kind of had a rough go of it. The Baltimore Ravens, who will get a couple mentions here, a couple players on the list here. But Be More Golf Pro drafted this team, and he had to duck out a week early due to some personal commitments, and we really appreciate him giving the league and the Cup players on his team that notice. And one of the players on that team who is on the All Cup team is Insane Eric. Eric got a 9.3 points per game uh, uh, rating this season and did a good job to keep that Ravens team together week in and week out. As they were pretty much out of it after week 5, but they started off really strong, and unfortunately things just kind of didn't go their way. And we'll see if they as Be More Golf Pro Eddie says, there's always next season. And he did win March Madness, so all's not lost for the Ravens, as they had quite a successful run so far in 2022. As we now move to an honorable mention on the Ravens, it's Zuby 97. Randy got 9 points per game, so he barely made the list, but he got an honorable mention for averaging that 9 points per game mark, and that's what got him on the list here. So he played every week. He did the best he could, and for that, he gets an honorable mention on the Stableford Cup 3 award show and All Cup team. And I believe that should do it for my awards. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It's the Minnesota Vikings, last but not least. It's my Packer bias coming through again. The Minnesota Vikings just missed the playoffs, and they had a heck of a run. Unfortunately, a couple overtime games did not go their way in the Cup, and that just is kind of how it bounced for them. They had a good amount of points because of those games, but unfortunately, they were caught out by the wins tiebreaker. As they do get two honors, though, as the Vikings captain AW MacV Andrew gets an 11 points per game average. So that's right up there with Pat Strife in the MVP territory. And we're going to find out how those final votes went. But Andrew, congrats on making the All Cup team. And the all honorable mention goes to Pro W Dino, otherwise known as Prouse. Sean had a 9.7 points per game average. So, and I think this team as a whole played really well together. The Vikings did. I know As You Do, I know Ross played really well, but I only could honor one player as an honorable mention, and I believe Sean just edged him out there. But honestly, all three of the Viking players played well. Just had a couple bounces that didn't go their way in the group play, and those overtime games are pretty much what did them in. But as it is, I may have missed somebody here, but I'm going to go through my calculations again. I'll check on a couple players maybe that I thought could have got mentioned, but I did try to mention everybody who I thought stood out to me. But as it is, the numbers are pretty much the determining factor here with the points per game. And man, the average over 9 points per game, you only get 3 holes, so you got to pretty much average a birdie a hole. And these players were exemplary in doing that in the All Cup team format here. So as it is right now, we're gonna go to the MVP voting for the group play. As we know already, we had a couple players with an 11 points per game average, and we had one with a 10.8. So those are the top three. Uh, but because only two of those three players actually made the playoffs right now, uh, one of them is going to be voted off the island first, and that's going to be Andrew McVicker with his 11 points. He'll end up third in the voting for the MVP. A big part of being MVP is getting your team to the playoffs, and for the Vikings, unfortunately, it just came up a little bit short. I think if it would have went the other way and they would have made the playoffs, uh, it would have been a very difficult decision to not give Andrew the MVP. But as it is, with those 11 points per game, Andrew ends up third place in the group play MVP voting. Now, second is going to be a the player that I know pretty well on my team, Old Man Gaming 606 with his 10.8 average. Awesome job getting to where he is right now. He basically came in. Uh, I don't believe he had a lot of experience with Stableford previously. Plus, he's on Xbox, which makes it even more difficult for him to be able to get to this point. But the only reason he's only like lagging a little bit in the voting in second place is because Pat Strife 21 just played lights out throughout this Cup season. He averaged 11 points per game. Basically willed the Jaguars to that seventh seed and now has them in the semifinals. And they were in a very difficult division, that Jaguars team was. They had to play the Giants, the Vikings, and the Lions. I mean, that was three tough teams right there. And they had to win a couple tough overtime games throughout the way. So my MVP and the official NFL Stableford Cup 3 group play MVP goes to Pat Strife 21 from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Congratulations to you, Pat. Thanks, thanks for getting your game in every week and just being a great guy for the league and the cup as well. And good luck to your team in your semifinal game. And if we do play each other next week, it could be a battle between Old Man Gaming and Pat Strife. Who knows? But we'll find out, as the Bengals are very tough and have three really good players, and the G-men as well. I mean, the top four teams are definitely deserving of where they are, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to win this Stableford Cup 3. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up this award show. I do have a couple things. Basically, I want to probably start preseason for the new season. I want to see how things go with TGC Tours and how they're going to finish off and what they're going to do with their difficulty level. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stay with Master because I'm seeing a lot of people saying how much they like it, and a lot of people online now, or even in the forums, are saying we should just be in Master again. But we'll see what happens. It doesn't look like there's going to be a new game in August, obviously, but uh, as it is, I really can't delay the season because I'm going based on the NFL schedule, and it would really be awkward to play week one like 4 weeks later than what the actual NFL is. So I really am just going to have the show go on from when the NFL season kicks off. But as it is, I really appreciate everybody for being in the league, and I know everybody that's reached out to me about teams. I do have a lot of players on the list right now, and I actually had an idea thrown out to me about having players be co-owners, and I'm definitely looking into that. And how that would probably work would be you would probably play assigned weeks, like odd numbers and even number weeks if you have two owners on a team. I think that would be the best way to do it. I just don't want to get into doing like a two versus one type ordeal. Like I do want to keep it one player actually playing per week, but the co-owners could definitely like switch off uh, from week to week on who decides where they want to play uh, between themselves. I mean, well, honestly, like it's probably just the most fair way just to have it be, you know, you play one half of the season, I play the other half if it's two owners. But as it is, I can't expand the number of teams. I'm pretty much limited by the NFL's format and their schedule. So I can get up to 32 teams, and that's basically what I can do. But with the amount of demand and the amount of people that want to play, it's like, it's kind of like the NFL version of inflation right now. Like I can only inflate the number of co-owners on a team, and I can't really expand the actual teams. So, but as it is, if you are an owner of a team right now, uh, and you are looking to switch your team, please reach out to me. I do have open teams right now. Some players have actually reached out to me saying that they're going to leave or are thinking about leaving, and I haven't really gotten official confirmations yet, but I know a couple I've mentioned in the Discord. But as it is, we won't leave on a down note because I think to me it's like things can always change, and at the end of the day, I usually leave the door open unless you pretty much tell me, yeah, I'm pretty much done with the game or whatever. So, but on a positive, I think the NFL season kind of brings it all back, and the weekly power rankings and all the fun that comes along with it usually makes things a little bit more bearable, even if the game is the same. And plus, you get to pick from a lot of new courses that just got released with National Treasure, and I think we're gonna stay with the tour worthy designation. So if you have created a course that's tour worthy, you definitely can use that. So that can add to the fun as well. So try to keep this fresh and fun, but I understand, the game's been the same since August, 2020. So there's not only so much you can really do there, but I really do appreciate you sticking with the league, and I thank you all for being a part of Stableford Cup 3. Good luck to the 4 teams remaining in the Cup. And once again, this is Lefty79, the commissioner of the NFL Stableford League, signing off, and I will see you down the road. Thank you.